Hello.
Welcome back to Ace Attorney!
Crimes.
Last time we left off, Sholmes... I got another great example on why I don't like Sholmes. He's a meme character that everyone's like, oh, you have to love him. Well, fuck you, I don't. He was completely wrong in this. Point in case, this very fucking sentence. It doesn't drink milk. It can't hear a whistle. It couldn't climb up a bell cord. It's not even venomous. The only one we actually corrected him on was the venom. Susato did the rest. Sholmes, you're the one who's inept. Who the deuces does something so inept land a starring role? Look in the mirror. It's not my fault. I do not make up stories. My Pruchka is nothing to do with this incident. Ellipses. So that's what happened. It's the truth behind my best friend's tragic death. Ellipses? Ellipses?
Ellipses. Ellipses. Miss Pavlova. Surprise ellipses. I understand the difficult situation you found yourself in, and I do sympathize. But please remember this. A young man lost his life. If you're going to attempt to cover up your guilt with lies, then no matter what the circumstances, I cannot forgive you. But
What are you talking about, Miss Mitsatoba? Lies. Miss Pavlova just confused everything. Confessed everything. It was just a series of unfortunate events. An accident. Best boy died, leaving me with these two idiots. I don't forgive her either.
I'm no great detective like Mr. Sholmes. I don't have a gift for knowing the truth. But even I can see that was not the truth. Don't you agree, Mr. Naruhito?
There are some missing details. Be perfectly honest, yes. There's a discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story. I'm sure of it. I just can't quite put my finger on it. I confess. I was intending to let Scotland Yard deal with any outstanding issues on the matter. I'm only present here for a very specific reason. The truth is, you, Mr. Naruhito, are simply a distraction. I do hope you've not been finding your shackles too uncomfortable. We just proved we weren't responsible. Not again. How did he even do this? Especially as they're on your wrist as a result of my investigation. Of my intervention. I was rather hoping I could resolve matters before we made our next port call. You were, Mr. Sholmes? Yes, but I overlooked one important detail. The deceased young man was a very close companion of yours. Was he not? Yes. Cosmo was my closest friend. I owed him my freedom, even.
Ellipses.
If that is the case, we must follow this to its conclusion. No further distractions. You must uncover the truth here, Mr. Naruhara. Yes, whatever that may be. The key to this is the discrepancy in Miss Pavlova's story. I'm sure. If I can chase that down, maybe the truth will become clear. The truth about how you really died. About how the scene in your cabin really came to be. Alright, I'll see what I can do.
Our best boy.
Exactly.
Excellent.
Excellent.
Thank you, Mr. Naruhara. Ellipses.
Would you kindly grab me a glass of lemonade? Thank you.
No doing my voices.
So, shall we begin? Yes! What should we ponder first? Is the victim who lost his life in the cabin that was bolted shut from the inside? Was this truly the unfortunate incident? Was this truly an unfortunate incident? Was it, in fact, no accident at all? That is what we must establish in the first instance. Counterpoint. But we've already established it, haven't we? Except the writing.
Yeah. Because that didn't get explained yet. Because if it was an accident, why...
The man tripped over the kitten that had climbed into his cabin via the ventilator. Tragic, yes, but still an accident. Wait, let's just take a step back. It doesn't make sense if that's really what happened, does it? Okay. Move your butt. Sit your butt. Knock your knee on it. Okay. Gotcha. Comfortable. I'm going to have to ask you to spell it out for me, I'm afraid. Yes, it's starting to take shape now. There's a clear contradiction between the facts and Miss Pavlova's story here. Evidence is right there in Kazuma's cabin. It's undeniable. His death couldn't possibly have been a mere accident. Healy? Let us show our hand. Let us show our hand, Mr. Naruhata. Time to present the evidence.
That evidence. The picture, right? Yeah.
Yeah, the evidence that proves the unequivocally that the victim's death was no mere accident.
Look at this photograph.
Right.
Yes!
Button confusion. The truth is clearly recorded in this photographic print. There's no way that Mr. Asagi could have left this message on the floor. That script. It's Russian, isn't it? Indeed it is. The word written means wardrobe. I see what you mean. Most people would leave a dying message in their native language. Japanese in this case.
But maybe he was studying Russian. It is a simple language. He could have picked it up very fast.
That doesn't seem likely. That's actually not the point. It makes no difference whether he knew Russian or not. Sorry? What do you mean? Exactly what I said before. There's no way that Mr. Asagi could have left his message on the floor. And the reason why is clearly explained in here. Damage to the vertical damage to the vertebrae resulting in instant death. Ah!
Until someone pulls out an updated autopsy report.
Which means, after the victim fell to the floor, he couldn't possibly have written anything. Because he was already dead.
That's not the only reason either. There's something else we found in Mr. Asagi's cabin. A rumor or something that couldn't possibly have been there if what Miss Pavlova told us was true.
What? So Sato-san has noticed it too, then. Putting the message on the floor aside, there's something else that gives the truth away. Another piece of evidence that proves that this was no accident. In other words,
I think it has to be the shoe polish, right? It's like, I know it was the same color as the shoes, but like, his shoes were dry.
The paper seal is written in Japanese. Keep out.
Yeah, but it was still there. Susato said something that shouldn't have been there was there.
His sword.
We don't have that in evidence.
You know what? I'm taking the risk.
Yes!
Okay.
Ah.
This piece of broken glass next to the mark on the floor. That's the glass bell that the kitten had around its neck. We already knew all about that. It was broken in half and the victim tripped over the cat and fell. But we already have a satisfactory explanation. Where's the flaw in that logic? Unfortunately, there's a very big flaw. A fatal flaw. What? It's bad that I don't see it.
I don't remember either.
If that's really what happened, then how did one half of the bell end up back here in this cabin?
Yeah, because if she was trying to clean it up, why didn't she grab
Oh!
Yes! Remember when we found the other half of the glass bell in the waste paper basket?
She grabbed the first half in a panic and realized she needed to go back to get the other half
But couldn't.
because it locked itself as the ship bobbed.
Would you care to explain that, Miss Pavlova? Oh no.
Both the pieces of evidence clearly point to the same conclusion. That when Mr. Asagi died last night in his cabin, there was someone else in the room. And the same person deliberately arranged the scene to disguise the truth. In order to cover up his or her own guilt.
Yes, there was someone else present at Mr. Asagi's.
Hold it!
That sounded like a man.
It's-
You are wasting
I
time!
bet it was.
Someone else was there. Duh, of course, we know this. What are you talking about? Bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. There was no way in or out. Oh yes. The only other person And the only other person in cabin when a young student died was you.
Yes!
It's true. I was in the cabin when it happened. You were shut inside the cabin wardrobe, to be precise, about the details. But I don't know Russian. There's no way I would have left that message. Not would have. There's no way you could have left that message. To be precise about the details. Would you mind? Again, neighbors, forgive me, my dear fellow. As I was saying, the person in question wrote the word wardrobe. The person in question wrote the word wardrobe in Russian on the floor. In an attempt to incriminate me for the crime, even though I had been asleep in there the entire time. Then the same person picked up the broken glass bell that had fallen to the floor. For fear of it...
For fear of it becoming evidence that would show how Mr. Usagi really died.
But why would this person have taken all the pieces of the bell away? But why wouldn't this person have taken all the pieces of the bell? Leaving half behind was always going to raise questions. Yes, well, It was 1 o'clock in the early hours of the morning. The cabin would have been quite dark. The single small lamp suspended from the ceiling would barely have cast any light onto the floor there. Little wonder, then, that the culprit failed to notice a fragment of the tiny item.
You all suspect me, don't you?
Seaman Stroganoff? Nina is woman of sea. She is daughter of strong sailor. 2 years ago, they noticed her dancing skills, and she went away to join ballet company. But before, she was dancer on this ship, a member of ship's band. Liquid, please. His voice is... You do not accuse Ship's Angel of being criminal. Ah, so that's it. You say that when young student died, Nina was there in his cabin. But that is not possible. I give my tooth. Then I'll grab some pliers, boy. I'll yank out those pearly whites. Well, this is almost intriguing. Why would you give your tooth, pray? How can you be so sure? You're a great detective. You should know. No tooth and eye. Cabin bulkhead was bolted shut from inside. Nobody could go into cabin. Not Nina, not anyone. Or you want to tell me that killer can walk through locked doors? Yet, it's impossible. He's right.
But wait, I've read about this in detective stories. People often tie thread around door latches so that you can open and close them from the outside.
Thread? Are you stupid? These bulkheads are not barn doors. Certainly not. There are watertight doors, as one could expect to find on any modern steamship. Constructed of heavy steel, with not a gap in sight. No thread or needle or magnets could have been used.
No, of course not. I thought so too. But Mr. Naruhodo suggested it earlier, so...
Sato. How could you shift it onto me like that? Good girl. She tried. So Seaman Stroganoff has a valid point. The cabin door couldn't have been bolted shut from the outside. Not necessarily. What? I put it to you that I could bolt this cabin door without laying a finger on it. So many male voices.
I know.
You're doing the judge.
Yep.
And in this very cabin, we can see the traces of the method I have in mind having been used before. I don't believe it.
Do it, my boy.
Well, Naruhodo, I believe you know what I mean, don't you? Shut the bolt of the cabin door from the outside? It does spring to mind, yes.
Do you really know what Mr. Sholmes means, Mr. Naruhodo?
Yes, and so should you. Because you've seen it happen. Bless you.
Thank you.
Indeed we have. So would you care to do the honors, Mr. Naruhodo? Point out the telling signs of the method that was used to slide the cabin door bolt from the outside. It's this, right?
No.
This?
No.
Okay,
Wait.
this is the communication thing. This shows that stuff gets knocked over, like the bolt.
Oh, wait, yeah.
Yeah, I'm doing the bookcase.
Yes! I was thinking the
Look at the bookcase there. See how all the books and things on it have toppled over?
That must have happened when the ships made an emergency stop before.
Yes, that's right. It's a very powerful vessel after all. When the engines are thrown into reverse, a violent jolt goes through the entire ship. Any small objects that aren't fastened down are bound to fall over.
I believe. Yes, it's what's known as the force of
Inertia.
acting on an object.
Is there nothing Susato doesn't know? Or that isn't in her book, at least? Well, whatever it's called. The same force that pushed over those books on the bookcase also made something else in the cabin move. The bolt. on the cabin door. And we're going to call that a part.
Right, bye guys.
Bye!